I'm Russell with Piano Outlet. Today is Wednesday, February 12th. Anyway, this video is for Nancy in San Clemente, California, who bought this beautiful piano. This is a Yamaha DGT7A. It is a piano the Yamaha no longer makes. What it is, it's actually a baby grand piano without any strings. Instead of strings, it has speakers that are located under here. But the whole exterior of the piano, all the body parts are exactly the same of the 4'11" acoustic grand. Parts are even interchangeable. You could even take the music stand out, put it in acoustic grand, the lid, and switch them over, swap them, whatever, legs, even the pedals. Everything is the same. All they did was they took out the plate and the strings and filled it with electronics. You could even, just as with an acoustic grand piano, you could loosen the key blocks. These are the key blocks here, and remove the fall board and slide the action out. And the action is exactly the same as an acoustic grand. You could even slide it into an acoustic grand and it'll work perfectly. The only problem is it doesn't have hammers at the end of the hammer shanks. Instead of hammers, there are weights. So the nice thing about it is that it feels exactly like a real grand piano. As a matter of fact, I've had one of these pianos in my house for quite some time, because when I practice, I make a lot of noise, and you know, people like to watch TV and sleep, talk on the phone, whatever. And I'd rather just play it at a very, very low volume if I want to practice, you know, scales or exercises or memorization or whatever. It doesn't need to be full acoustic piano, loud sound, and it just has to be that touch of a real piano. Interestingly enough, when they stopped making this piano, they decided to come out with a different type of design, different approach, which is this piano here. This is the Yamaha N3, the AvanteGrand. And, you know, usually I play two pianos and I do comparisons and everything, but honestly, they're both electronic, and they're both of the sounds of the pianos coming out of speakers, and then, you know, it's being recorded by the camera, and they're coming out of a computer, so you really can't tell. I can't tell you, they both sound very good as far as from a digital piano point of view. Having speakers instead of strings, they're going to sound as good as they possibly can, but they're not going to sound as good as a nice acoustic grand piano. So, but the main point of either one of these pianos is that you do have a great action. Now, the one thing about this piano is that it kind of doesn't look like a baby grand piano. I mean, it kind of looks very high tech, and it's smaller, and it's not a 4'11". It's probably more like a 3 foot, maybe a 3'11", I don't know. But you know, it'll fit easier in a smaller space. But I'm not that crazy about the way it looks. I prefer the traditional type of baby grand piano look, you know, for my home or whatever. But as far as the way the piano plays, I have played this piano and I like it. One of the things that I really notice about it, as opposed to any digital piano, is that I could play this piano really aggressively and it's solid. It doesn't shake, it doesn't move, it doesn't do the type of thing that a digital piano usually do, which is kind of jump and bounce and back and everything and feel kind of cheap. This thing is really, really solid. So if you're an advanced player and you're looking for a piano, you don't have to worry about tuning or anything like that. This is a great piano for that. But as far as the traditional piano look, the DGT7A, I wish they still made this piano because it is really, really nice. Anyway, I want to do a little demonstration on, you know, basically how to operate it and how it looks. And you know, the one thing about this piano is that it was upgraded, because the previous control box on it was this here. This is the box that was on here before. See, it had a floppy drive and a CD drive, and this is technology that's, I don't know, 15, 20 years old already. So Yamaha came out with an upgrade for this, which is called the DKC850, which we installed on here now. Now, to make this installation, it's kind of complicated. You got to make sure that you follow the directions in the manual correctly. With a standard disc clavier, you just change the control box out, and there's an extra wire. But the main thing is that depending on the model that it is, if it's an older model, because Yamaha made both Mark 1 and 2 and a Mark 3 system, and each one is a newer one, but the older ones, you have to keep the old control box and plug it in to this one here by MIDI. And then you have a setting on here whether you're going to, you have to let the DKC850 know whether you're replacing the old box or whether you're adding it to the old box. Anyway, in this one, you're replacing it, because as you can see, the old box is over there, the new box is over here. And with this, because it has speakers, this has speaker output for the background music. So what you do is you plug that into the speaker input of the DGT7A. Keep on forgetting the model of this. And the reason why I'm pointing over here is that those inputs are actually underneath back here. As a matter of fact, we'll take the camera over here and the camera come around and you'll see. Make it easier to explain. So under here, if you see here, you have auxiliary in. So these two wires go directly all the way over to the DKC850 where it says audio out. So the background music will go into here and come out of the speakers along with the sound of the piano. Anyway, I'm going to play it a little bit. I got a little bit Bette Midler queued up, so Nancy can hear her piano. Now, one quick note, basically for you, Nancy, too, is it was a little confusing for me because, you know, I don't get a lot of these pianos in, and it's probably like maybe the third one I've hooked up this way, and I don't remember all the time, you know, all the little idiosyncrasies of these things. But the one thing I did realize is that when you want the piano to be louder, you're going to turn this knob here where it says volume, okay, and then you could turn the volume of the piano itself up or down. And then the background music, you could attenuate that with the knob here. So that's how you change that. Also, see how I turn the piano down? Also, there's a button here that says balance on your remote. That's another way you would adjust the volume. Because if you press balance, TG balance, that has to do with the tone generator inside the piano. You don't really have to worry about that because I don't think you're going to be playing much music using the tone generator. But the two other ones that you are going to be using are going to be, when you press the balance button, you're going to see, again, you'll see audio balance. And that's the background music. So when you want to adjust the different volumes, if you press the button on balance here, okay, so I press balance, TG balance, that's going to be the piano, actually, the sound of the piano sound for itself. And then when you press balance again, you'll see it says on here audio balance, and that's the background music. That's kind of the only thing that's kind of a little bit confusing is getting the volume balances, but try to have a little patience and go back and forth, and then you'll kind of get the knack of it, and you'll get the kind of setting that you like the best. An idea what it sounds like with the player on, and then obviously you want to play the piano, it plays like a real piano. I'll turn it down. I'm going to play, because I'm playing it in my... use headphones, when you plug the headphones in, then the music stops coming out of the speakers and it comes out of your headphones. So, Nancy, if you have any questions after you get the piano, feel free to call me, and hope you enjoy the piano, and thank you very much. So, I want to talk a little bit about how to connect your DKC850 to your baby grand piano when it arrives to your house. The reason why I want to do this and show you how, even though you may have the manual, just to make it a little easier for you. I don't want movers to ever connect any electronics. I mean, honestly, movers, piano movers, professional piano movers, they really only know how to move a piano from one location to another. If once you ask them to connect any electronics, they're going to be polite and try to accommodate, but generally you don't want them doing it because they don't have any experience, and they really can damage something because they're trying to get something done in order so that they can get out of your house to their next job. It's very important that you know as much as your piano as possible. In the event that maybe you might have to remove a user box, maybe send it out for repair or replace it with another one. However, when we send out the DKC850s, they're already mounted to these, to the mounting bracket. You see, this is the mounting bracket here, this piece here, and it's screwed into the sides of the DKC850. I'm sending it out exactly like this to make it easy for Nancy, who owns this one, and how to connect it underneath. I also try to make it as simple as possible. So I'm going to go under over here, and we'll go in on the other side. Because one of the things that you're going to notice, there's two colors here. There's red, which is going to be underneath the speaker outputs, and then there's blue here, which is the power for it, okay? So when you want to mount this to the bottom of the piano, you notice there's three mounting sections. There's a hole here, and also this slotted hole here, okay? So when we get underneath the piano here, you're going to see corresponding screws here. 1, 2, and 1 all the way at the end over here, okay? The reason there isn't 4 is because the leg is in the way here, and you really only need 3. So if we take this, I don't know if the camera can get under here and actually see how I'm doing this. You see the screws here, very, very easy. You see the wide part is over here, so the wide part is going to go in to where the screw is. And then on the other side, there's the slot. You see this here? Right there. And what you're going to do is you're going to slide it back. Okay? And then you're going to tighten the screws. The screws might be tightened all the way in when the piano is initially set up by the movers. So in order to allow for this DKC850 box to be attached to the piano, you're gonna have to back out of the screws maybe about almost 1/4 of an inch. And the other side here we'll get. All right, there you go. Now on the back here, the camera can come around all the way to the back. These are the wires that are going to be loose and hanging that get connected to the DKC850. And it's going to be very simple because, again, as I explained before, it's color coded. So over here, it really doesn't matter left or right because all the speakers are inside the piano, and I don't really think it matters. Or if you notice one is on the left and it sounds like it's on the right, then you can switch it. But for me, I really wouldn't matter to me either way. The power, you see I put a blue piece of tape here that goes into power. And this is the connection for the computer stuff I don't know how else to explain it, but you know, the technology that gets into play. As you see, it's configured so that it's like a trapezoid, so the smaller part is facing down, so you want to match it up. There's 2 screws that you could actually tighten to make it stay in, but it's not really necessary. As long as you get it in there nice and snug, you're not going to have a problem. There you go. And then you're going to have your power cord. There'll be 1 power cord coming out. Right here, you plug it in, and that's pretty much it. And you turn it on, and that's pretty much it. When you want to play something, the most important button on this is the select button. It'll let you know if you're going to use the CD or the USB drive or internal memory. But the owner's manual will tell you all about that. The main thing is to get it connected, okay? I appreciate your watching the video, and if you have any questions, feel free to call me. Anybody else interested in any of our pianos here? We have just about every model that Yamaha has made. We have mostly U3s in our uprights. You can see some U3 behind me, and baby grands. Right over there is a Yamaha 8. If the camera turn around, that's an 8'2". That's actually my favorite piano to play on. I'll play a couple of notes on it here. And as you can see down here, we just got a shipment of uprights in, and so we got a load of U3s and different versions of the U3s, U3, U30s, U300s. Here's the UX50. So just about every version of U3 that you can imagine we have right now. You know, we get maybe 2 or 3 shipments of uprights in a year, and we just received one. And so right now we have a lot of different uprights. We receive a lot more grands. We actually do a lot more sales in our grands. As you can see, we have a whole bunch here that we haven't even opened yet. So hopefully in the next few weeks, as we get some of these other pianos here that are sold out of here, we can open up our grands. But anyway, I hope you like this little video. If you want any further information, my name is Russell. This is the Piano Outlet, and our phone number is 954-803-3319. Feel free to text or call anytime. Thank you.